We also see Hero obviously streaming a lot as well, which is never helpful when you're preparing for Pro League. I'll tell you that.
I'm sure Pet may have even gone ahead and watched some of those VODs from the stream of Hero.
Okay, so this is actually, he's never played in Pro League before. This makes a lot of sense. We've seen him in qualifiers for GSL and SSL. He hasn't really broken through yet. We've seen him in a lot of Omni Cups and a lot of more sort of online things. Not finding much success anywhere, actually.
Just kind of one of those B-teamers that hangs around, doesn't get that many results, but the fact that they're putting him out here at least instead of, you know, a bunch of other players they could have used means that they do have some confidence in him. Possibly he is playing well in-house. We're just going to have to wait and see. But over here we do have Hero. Pretty nice record here, above 50%. He's actually 3-1 in ace matches, a pretty nice record there.
Yeah, and the one notable sort of online result he's had is he lost 2-3 to Dongregu. I mean, that was like the one time where he, like, you know, did something, had a PVZ result that he did win some games in, and that was in a recent tournament, maybe a week or so ago.
Well, we'll have to see if Pet has done any research on this guy Hero here. It's going to be an interesting matchup here going into game number 2 between Pet and Hero. Down here in the bottom left in the red, the StarTale-yoe Zerg, 1 of 4 today. It is Pet.
And in the top right, playing for MVP, we have Hero from Team Liquid. A fan favorite, been around for years, loved by many.
Yeah, bit of an emotional guy, can get pretty sad when he loses, pretty angry. But also happy when he wins, of course.
He kind of reminds me of MKP in that respect, where he does take losses very badly.
Yeah, or Curious, kind of like that as well.
You reckon Curious gets tilted like that?
Or no, not Creator, not Curious.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Curious is like a rock.
I'm like Curious. What? No, that doesn't make any sense at all.
That guy actually feels nothing, man.
So that says Kanata equals the Monday Caster. Do you agree?
I disagree.
I disagree 100% there.
That's kind of strange. I actually know they are two different people.
Yeah. Doesn't quite work out.
How are we going to see here? It looks like Hero isn't going to be going for any sort of Forge, Fast Expand, which is something we've seen a lot from him in the past. He used to be one of those players that would do it every single game. Not this time, Valdez. Not this time.
Yep. Saving up the minerals, sending out a scout. I think we're going to see Nexus first.
Nexus first. Scouting for that proxy is Pet, and going for that hatch first. So both players being nice and greedy. Ooh.
Wait.
He's looking for the gold base.
Okay.
He's looking. I don't think he even scouted it properly, but luckily for him, it's not going to be there anyway. Looking for like a Leenock-esque kind of game.
I mean, it makes sense when you have Pet on the same team as Leenock. He definitely will study with that guy. So I like that scout actually out of Hero.
I think it's very important. Leenock should inspire him at the very least. He is so successful in this matchup because of how crazy he plays. But I respect this kind of opening as well. Going for hatch first. A little nervous. It could have been a cannon. Not going to be. He's going to find that out soon when that first overlord gets to the natural.
Yeah, this is actually the greediest Hero can play right now. He's got a Nexus first into Gateway and Gas opening. So no Forge, no wall.
Yeah, but he can get away with it because he did scout that hatch first.
Yeah, that he can. Very good point, Moonwade. 2 gases coming up here for Hero. Still being annoying at the natural. Not really doing much.
Ooh.
Just
slip up by Hero. Should have had that probe, perhaps the third base to slow things down even more, but Pet going to be getting that one for free as well. Granted, just a little bit later because of that probe harassment. Now it's just about where are these players going to go from here? What are we going to see from Hero? As you were saying, Valdez, he does stream a lot. He does show a lot of special tactics. Even in this matchup, he can kind of play his own style. He's always been a player that like has his own sort of ideas about the game. Never really wanted to play complete mainstream.
Yeah, very true. He goes down many different tech paths. He likes to do a lot of weird stuff. But I'm not sure if he's really going to bring that out today. I mean, right from the get-go, this is a pretty greedy build, but it's not all that non-standard. I mean, he's going to get the Zealot out here to protect against the Zerglings. Zerglings are going to be able to run away from the Zealot, but Stalker's going to come out with the Mothership Core to defend, and he shouldn't take too many losses.
In the main base, we are seeing a little bit more harass with these Zerglings. So Pet doing a nice job. Just kind of try and pull them off the minerals for a time. It really slows down any sort of income. Loses everything except one Zergling there. So
Yeah. Still no tech out of Hero. Makes a Sentry. You reckon we might see a fast third, possibly? Try to defend there, set up some kind of wall?
Well, the Sentry definitely kind of gives that impression off. Still, I don't know, no Forge yet. No extra gateways just yet either. We'll be wanting to put them down at the natural.
Ooh.
Just a second.
I thought that Zergling actually saw that pylon, but it didn't. With a proxy pylon like that, and still no used gas.
Always a tricky sort of place to try and scout. Like, if you're not clicking right at the back there, you can miss like a lot of things. That Overlord gets away on 1 HP.
Luckiest Overlord ever.
Yeah.
And look at this. We have a Twilight Council coming down.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so it's going to be DT.
Okay, so he's actually going for some special tactics.
Yeah, just straight up. I think this is a pretty good idea. Hasn't got any extra gases on his natural, so it's even harder to believe that it can happen. He's like, well, he doesn't have much gas. I guess I don't have to really worry about anything. He's already showing that Sentry at the front of the base. So it's like, well, he's already invested some gas in the Sentry. He's like, maybe just going for a standard sort of third base.
And you know what else he's showing is actually the gateways at the front of the wall. Maybe Pet's just like, okay, I got to be careful. You know, maybe this is some pressure. I mean, they are slightly later, but I'm not sure if Pet is going to read into that too much. We do have the Dark Shrine now coming his way, and here's that pressure.
All right, I like this sort of style. I've seen the style a lot before. It's kind of like 4-gate pressure. They keep the Zerg sort of preoccupied. Though Hero's got to be careful because there's speedlings, and this is going to get shut down instantly. Oh, even using a Time Warp. Wow, he has confidence to remain, which is really something else Zelda's, because he could just lose everything now.
Definitely could, but it doesn't seem like he's going too aggressive just yet. He does save that pylon. Gonna take it slow with this one. Knows he doesn't have to kill the Zerg at this moment. He's just putting on that pressure like we were talking about, and more so just trying to distract while that Dark Shrine gets up.
Exactly. This is entirely designed to buy time for him to get the DTs without any sort of detection being made whatsoever.
Well, here we go. The Zerglings coming from the back. Speedlings, I should say. A lot of roaches in the front and a really nice surround here. And like we were saying before, not enough energy here for that recall.
Yeah.
Those Zerglings doing a lot of damage.
Doing way too much damage. He's going to clean up all the Zerglings. Going to keep most of his Stalkers alive for now, though they're all very low. Almost all of them in red. 1 or 2 shots away from those roaches will kill him. And now we see the DT warp in. 3 DTs warping in now.
Oh, and he's actually, well, it looked like he was going to go for the roaches, but now, I mean, he did warp them in as close as possible, but Pet should be able to defend against this as long as he puts down some spores, but no spores are coming down.
No, this third base is gone. 100%. You cannot stop 4 DTs like that. He could even lose the natural if we see Hero be fast enough. Ooh, he can cancel that Spore Crawler if he's really on top of it, but it doesn't look like he wants to commit too far, and there's also Overseers on the way, so not much more of a chance of that happening. Oh, nice little box.
Yeah, I mean, at least the fact that he's able to get that third base is pretty nice. And he will be able to transition into Blink as well as some upgrades.
Getting the third base is the best he could have ever hoped for, to be honest. Like, ending the game can happen, but shouldn't happen from that situation. It's kind of Pet defended it well enough, and obviously Hero did go for that third base in an instant, which gave him enough time to get the Spore up. But losing just 1 base, putting the economy on equal terms again, horrible thing for Zerg. The most horrible thing in the world against the Protoss, being the most cost-efficient race.
Hero getting supply blocked pretty heavily here, actually making 4 pylons, as Pet is cleaning up those pylons that were out on the map. But Hero at least able to supply block Pet as well, cleaning up 1 Overlord out on the map, and a pretty heavy supply block on that side of things as well. 4 Overlords being made.
Pet has a window. He has a window, a small window. Look at the size of his army compared. He's up about 20 supply. As long as he doesn't get too bad force fields, he can like take a decent engagement, maybe kill the third base, and give him another sort of lead, economic lead.
Uh-oh.
Oh, gonna get into the main base. There is no detection in the main either.
Oh my god, Minglade. This is beginning to do a lot of damage. DTs are at the third base at the same time. 6 drones already going down. He's going to delay so much mining in the meantime as well. That third base looks like it will live at least, but it has sustained a lot of damage. 8 drones do go down.
That is a lot of damage in the main. Same time, looks like we are going to see Pet try and cancel the third base. Hero, he's out of position for this.
Yep, way out of position. He's trying to come back now. That cannon does buy him time, and with a blink, he should be able to stop this. Even time warping here.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Perfect force fields from Hero. He is looking on point. We are seeing a transition to the Swarmers now. Perhaps a bit of a desperation play from Pet in this kind of situation. Though it is going to be a sort of the perfect ideal composition against what we see from Hero, where it's nothing but gateway units for now. Robo Facility on the way. Going to have to get the Colossi pretty quick smart against this. You can only fight Locust with Blink Stalkers for so long.
Yeah. Definitely going to have to get that scout down. I saw him sending out some hallucinated Phoenixes earlier on, but not sure if he's actually scouted this just yet. We do have that Robo coming up now. And another proxy pylon behind the 4th base that Pet is trying to make.
Ooh, big run by. A lot of Zerglings going to the 3rd base. Could do a lot here. There's only one cannon.
One cannon. And, uh-oh. Well, looks like some weapons will deter Pet for now. Looks like he's going to try to come to the natural, but there is a Zealot on hold position.
Now, that pylon at the bottom right, we can see perhaps a 4 or 5 Zealot warp in there and just cancel the 4th base, which would put him so far behind. Instead, we're going to see 3 DTs get warped in there, which will also be more than enough. Unless we see Pet in a perfect position to deal with them.
Hero, I have to say, he's just kind of going with this what he's comfortable with, you know? Using what he does on stream as well, just a lot of special tactics. DTs against Zerg, not the most common strategy.
Can definitely catch him unaware, especially if you're doing sort of a style like we did see the opening. It's really a classic style. We've seen this before many times in the past, a long time ago, granted.
Yeah.
But it can really catch a Zerg off guard if they're not expecting it. Ooh, 3 DTs still at the back of this 4th base. We are seeing Hero pressure around the 3rd, trying perhaps to get the Zerg player out of position.
Oh, he's going for the cancel here.
Wow.
But Pet has responded.
Busted.
A lot of speedlings coming in, but he's drawing those Swarm Hosts way out of position. That's a lot of Blink Stalkers over to the left side.
Oh, yeah. We could actually see perhaps a run by into the natural. Could maybe kill that base. We are seeing also War Prism with 4 sentries.
Oh, no. He's too late. No force field. A lot of Zerg units are up here.
Oh, not enough.
Yep, and that will deter that. Nice play.
It's going to get rid of a lot of Stalkers, make things a little bit easier. Still hasn't dealt with that pylon at the bottom right. It's going to cancel the hatchery at this point, Valdez.
Yeah, it should be able to as long as he does target it. So a nice idea out of Hero. He's really being all over the map right now, but not really able to execute it to the fullest. But as long as he cancels that, or at least clicks on that hatchery, he would have been able to cancel it, but just kind of fighting against the Zerglings here.
Bit of an awkward position in that little SimCity part. Yeah, not getting the kill. Very fortunate for Pet. Very, very fortunate.
Yep. Keeping that 3rd base very important at this point in the game, especially with Protoss about to secure his own 4th base. And we do see a 2nd Robo coming up. Looks like he's going to transition into just double Robo Colossi to deal with these Swarm Hosts. Not a bad idea.
Smart way to start things off. Obviously need to get that Colossi count up to at least 3 before you can really safely start clearing Locust without taking any damage. I don't know what Hero is planning to do. It's really decently removing the creep, which is also kind of essential to slowing down Swarm Host progression across the map. Obviously, Locust is going to be moving a lot more slower off creep, which means they won't get to your base nearly as often.
Some Spine Crawlers were being made here, but a little bit too late. A lot of Zealots being warped in right now. They do have +2 attack, so going to have to pull back a large number of roaches to deal with this. That he does.
Pretty sufficient amount at this point. Decent upgrades on the Zealots. They can actually trade and kill all these roaches if Pet doesn't micro. Same time, we are seeing more creep get removed, and this is fantastic work from Hero. He knows exactly what he has to do in this situation. Obviously has that recall if he does get caught out.
Yeah, man, the coolest thing about Hero style that I like, actually, is that he's just all over the map. He's constantly pressuring, but oh no! As I'm talking good about Hero, losing a lot of Stalkers against those Locusts, those free units, not something you want to do at this point.
No, not yet. Not yet. Maybe when you go into Tempest and later in the game,
yeah,
can be a good idea, but at this point, no, it's a little too soon. Once again, happening again. Uh-oh. He's just really committed to getting rid of those creep tumors, which is a great idea. I don't know if it's worth 2 DTs, but whatever he can, you know, because the longer that creep stays off the map, the more time Hero has to make an army that's going to be perfect with dealing with swarm hosts.
During all of this, Pet on 4 bases, he is able to get that Hive and those Vipers out. So that's going to be used for some nice pulls on the Colossi. Only 2 out so far, but of course 2 being produced at the same time. Another Zealot Warpin in the main will be dealt with a little bit sooner here. Those Locusts coming up here. He's going to have to pull more actually in there if he wants to kill them all off.
A lot of drones going down, Valdez. That's 8 drones from a couple of Zealots. Just with those upgrades, just destroying them. So it gets pretty awkward in this kind of situation, especially if all your static defense is gone. Granted, Pet does have a fantastic bank to kind of help him out in this kind of situation. But still, you know, he's really trapped on 4 base, and his creep is just completely denied, which is just really great understanding of how this sort of situation works from Hero.
Very true. And now Hero, he's putting down a pylon at that gold base. Looks like he's posturing up to take that. He's got 4 Colossi on the map. He has stopped production now as he is getting Storm as well as a bunch of High Templar. And now we have actually air upgrades coming in here. The +1 to attack. Could see a transition eventually, especially if this goes later.
I think it's pretty much going to end up in a split map situation. It's just about when it's going to happen and how long Hero can deny that until he kind of gets exactly what he needs to stop pushing this as well. And that is obviously going to be with Tempest at some point. But more importantly, you're going to need a lot more Colossi and Storm to help out with some Archons.
That is a gigantic Warpin over there at the right side of the map.
Oh, yeah. It's even 2 Archons as well, which is funny to add. Caught out. Ooh, bit of a costly mistake.
But at the same time, he's coming in at the main. That's a lot of Blink Stalkers.
Ooh, looks like he's going to be trying to take down the Hive, which is not a bad idea. You're going to stop any sort of Viper production.
Would have actually liked to see some Sentries Warp in there, get that ramp force field, and possibly just go for the Hive like you were saying. But as of now,
not finding too much just yet. Same time, we are seeing work on the 5th base. It gets canceled. It's almost they're going to clean everything up, and you know what? That base can get canceled like 50 times. If he's going to spend like 1,000 minerals and 600 gas to do it, like that is not worth it at all for Hero.
Yeah, not really the best trades. At least he does come into the main and snipe that Spire, so that is something. Like you were saying before, he's going to want to trade those Stalkers eventually. And it seems that Pet has just not dealt with this at all. He still doesn't have anything to deal with all these Blink Stalkers in the main.
Yeah, it's such an awkward position when you're trying to defend with just Swarm Hosts alone. Losing the spawning pool, I think he should be able to clean it up now that we do see Swarm Hosts actually in the main base. So the Locust should last a long time. Yeah. 5th base being remade with a lot of static defense. 2 Stargates being added now, so we are going to see that transition most likely into Tempests.
Yeah, really good foresight out of Hero, actually, to go for the upgrades even before the transition. He knew on 4 bases and now 5 bases that he would have the minerals and gas to go for that, so does dump it in. These Stalkers looks like they will eventually be cleaned up, but we do have another harassment over here at the 4th base. Some 3 Archons and a bunch of Zealots. And only 4 Spine Crawlers over here. He's going to need more than that to defend this.
Yeah, and all the Locusts are completely out of position. We are seeing the Swarmers actually move forward. 5 of them down towards the 3rd base are sending Locusts down, so this should be enough to deal with these, especially if they're not planning on fighting them. Instead, just getting rid of all the drones at the base. 20 drones have gone down from this.
It's an unbelievable amount of damage, actually. If you look at the worker count right now, it's only down to 40.
Oh, and some Zealots taking down Swarm Hosts. Actually seeing quite a number go down. You can salvage these as well.
Hero just plays such an interesting harass-heavy Protoss style. It's so fun to watch. He's all over this Zerg right now.
It's really interesting that he actually uses a lot of his gas to do so as well. Something we don't often see that much is Archons being added to the mix of these run-bys, which can come back to bite him if he's not prepared to the follow-up, because that costs a lot of gas as well as a lot of minerals, and that's using all your bank.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true, especially as you're trying to transition into air right now. He's only got 2 Stargates. Fleet Beacon is only coming to a finishing point now. It's about 3/4 of the way.
Very quickly, because Valdez, we see 8 Broodlords on the map. And that's going to make things so difficult for, look at this army that we see from Hero currently. That would die in a heartbeat to what we see from Pet. It's just about him getting across the map, right?
Yeah. Zealots over here fighting against Locust. Once away, throwing a lot of those minerals. And now the Tempests start coming in here. 2 Void Rays only, I believe, so far out on the map. And that is 8 Broodlords plus a bunch of Corruptors to support.
Yeah, and I mean, these Vipers are going to help out so well against the Tempest. There's not really much to stop them in terms of like Stalkers or Archons. There is a couple of Templar, which can, you know, do some decent damage, but will not really keep them away that much.
Yeah, Hero just needs more time right now. He's actually just sacking that gold base. I wonder if he might not just go around this. It seems like that's what he wants to do right now. He's got big army moving towards the right side of the map. Doesn't want to fight it head on.
Yeah, he should wait because he needs at least 4 Tempests to deal with this. He needs 4 Tempests to start one-shotting the Broodlords. And, I mean, he still doesn't really have a way to deal with these Corruptors, which is going to be a bit of an awkward issue. I think the best choice is definitely kind of base trading at this point. Getting rid of the economy he can for the Zerg while he makes a composition that can deal with what's on the map.
Not a bad idea. Now, Pet coming over to the 4th base of the Protoss. Going to start getting to work at those cannons. Of course, no chance there for those guys against that many Broodlords as well as Swarm Hosts. And Hero right now just going for the kill.
Bit of a very close sort of situation there with the Templar. They were right next to some Locusts that could have taken down at least 3 or 4 of them. Luckily getting away just in time. Needs everything he can muster to deal with his army. But once he's dealt with his army, Valdez, Pet has run out of steam already. Because he took so much economic damage, especially in that bottom right base. He has no bank anymore, essentially. Not for a remax, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, what you're trying to say is, like, if he can take out that army once, Hero's going to be in a very good spot as long as he keeps most of his army alive. We do see Pet trying to take that base over there to the left, but it does get canceled by a DT.
And we are seeing now Pet rotating back with the Swarm Hosts and Corruptors. Keeping those Broodlords, though, to deal with the bases remaining, which can be a mistake if there was anything sort of in position to deal with them. If there was Tempest up there, if there was even a Void Ray, it would just take them down so quickly. And maybe, I think we will see a recall in a second, unless he gets caught out.
We do see Pet spend his whole bank on 9 more Broodlords.
Wow, I didn't even see that belt as well spotted. I was like looking at the army, I'm like thinking about when's Hero going to go back. He can actually deal with these Broodlords if he gets like towards his 3rd base in time. Everything's kind of moved back at this point for Pet, except them. They're out of position. This is a great opportunity if he wants to take it. But still, just playing as careful as he can, getting rid of all these Swarm Hosts, all these Locusts, sorry. And oh, here we go. Got to get those feedbacks or he loses the game, Valdez.
Just trying to. The Tempest getting to work heavily on those Broodlords, and huge storms coming down as well. Oh. Broodlords coming from both sides right now. The High Templar from the top now getting picked off before some storms go down.
He gets the feedbacks, but does he have enough Void Rays and Tempests to deal with this massive amount of Corruptors? I don't think so, Valdez.
Doesn't look like it. The Colossi are pretty much left alone here as those Tempests do get cleaned up. The Mothership Core isn't even here right now for a recall. Yeah. Pet looking really, really happy in the booth.
He knows he's done it at this point. The composition has been broken. There is no bank for Hero to remake this kind of composition again, or any amount of Void Rays to really deal with these Corruptors. So he is essentially in a horrible position. There's not even enough really ground units to deal with these Broodlords, even if they get under them. And Hero falling apart at his last base, his last source of income.
Yeah. Now the Swarm Hosts coming into the battle. Didn't even need to be here at this point, but will support in the win here for Pet.
Oh, nice blink under. And they caught out just a little too much. Still, all the Colossi are being dealt with, and now Lucas will run free.
Yep, Lucas and Broodlings coming in here. Hero scratching his head. He was playing a very cool style, very harassed base, but I'm just not sure if a lot of those harassments really got the damage they needed to do done. Pet got a really nice composition worked out and just went for it, kind of. Had enough of that harassment, and here's the final result.
Yeah, I kind of question whether those like Archon additions to his like run buys was really worth it, because he just didn't have the kind of bank he needed to really support a hard counter to the massive air army of Pet. And I think Hero just simply scouted it too late as well. By the time there was 8 Broodlords on the map, he hadn't started Tempest production. So he was in a world of hurt.
Hero is like still not giving up. He's harassing at that base and tried to blink some stalkers over there, but you can kind of see on his face that he is not happy with this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, as we said, he is a very emotional player, and I guess one of his traits is the stance of the Marine King timing, GG timing.
Yeah, GG timing.
And I actually remember this at DreamHack, Valdez. I remember it very fondly because I hyped what remained of Hero's Army at this point. I made it sound very exciting, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
GG.
GG. Finally, Pet able to take the game, tying it up once again here. Leenock very happy. Pet coming out in his first game, able to win. And a pretty long one there. Looking pretty solid overall.
He was looking great. I'm glad I chose Pet to win this. I wish we saw the predictions before the match, Valdez, so I could be smug about it. Instead,
you could still tell everybody about it. You had the prediction right.
Yeah.
Good job, Moonglade.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, now that the game is out of the way, you know, Hero didn't look bad by any means. He simply just reacted late to the to the air army.
Yeah.
That Pet was concocting. And we're going into, after this small break, we're going to be doing Leenock versus Departure, Valdez.
I think that's definitely going to be a pretty one-sided game, but I am excited to see Leenock come out once again. Departure not having the best record. He is actually 0-8 total in Pro League, so looking to still get his first win.
Hero has a better record than that, Valdez.
That he does.
MVP, got to pick up the pieces. I'm pretty sure they thought they had that one in the bag, to be honest. I think they came into this very confident. They're like, yeah, we can take down Pet. But Pet surprised everyone today with his debut match, taking down Liquid Hero. Great start. Great army.
Yeah.
Had to make it work there. I mean, he did. Just a little too late of a reaction.
Yeah, definitely. And it's so interesting to see this kind of like Zerg army of StarTale-yoe come to fruition. Like all these Zerg players talking with each other, cheering for each other. It's basically like Team Zerg today. And they're definitely going to be looking towards their even two stronger Zergs in Leenock and Life to win their two matches here. I would not be surprised at all if this actually went 3-1 for StarTale at this point.
Yeah, really good point, actually, Valdez. StarTale-yoe.
Yeah,
I'm going to correct you there, man.
I would not be surprised if we actually have 2 3-1s today. It's looking that way.
It's certainly not an ace match Monday today.
Not today. Well, guys, we are